What upsets many people is the thought that they have actually really changed their lives. They have absolutely stepped out of the status quo. The rigid hierarchies that most of us are quite near the bottom of, I think Prince Harry's turned around with her help and said, actually, I don't have to do this anymore.
While Harry and Meghan are busy with their trip to Colombia, King Charles are threatening to make this year's summer gathering at Balmoral all about Prince Harry and Meghan's titles, specifically a discussion on whether or not they should retain their Duke and Duchess of Sussex peerages. This reveals a deeper, more troubling obsession with control. The royal family's focus on the Sussexes' titles exposes the monarchy's inability to accept the couple's independence and underscores how out of touch the institution has become with modern values. Let's dive deeper. Titles in the British royal family are more than just ceremonial. They symbolize a hierarchy and a system of patronage that has historically governed the monarchy's relationship with the British public. For centuries, these titles have been used to reinforce loyalty to the crown and maintain the structure of the royal institution. However, the truth is, in the 21st century, titles are increasingly seen as relics of a bygone era, and their importance has waned in the eyes of the public. For Prince Harry and Meghan, their Duke and Duchess of Sussex titles represent the last vestiges of their formal connection to the royal family. Since stepping back from their royal duties in 2020, the couple has been stripped of various privileges and responsibilities that were associated with their roles as senior royals. It is only right to conclude that the royal family's fixation on these titles is a means of control, and it is telling. By holding the threat of title removal over Harry and Meghan, King Charles III and other senior royals are attempting to maintain a semblance of influence over the couple's lives. It is a tactic that reeks of desperation, reflecting a monarchy that is struggling to adapt to the changing world around it. While the Sussexes have clearly moved on, the royal family seems unable to let go, clinging to the outdated notion that titles equate to power. Even if the royal family were to strip Harry and Meghan of their Duke and Duchess of Sussex titles, the impact would be minimal. In the grand scheme of things, titles are mere formalities, and they do not define a person's identity or worth. Harry will always be Prince Harry, regardless of whether or not he holds a dukedom. His royal lineage is immutable, and no decree from Balmoral can change that. Moreover, stripping Meghan of her Sussex title would only elevate her status in a different way. As the wife of a prince, she would automatically be entitled to the style of Princess Henry, a title that, in the eyes of many, carries more cachet than Duchess of Sussex. In fact, given Meghan's growing influence on the global stage, especially in countries like Nigeria, where she has already been embraced as Princess Meghan, the removal of her Duchess title could actually serve to increase her stature, both in the UK and abroad. The royal family's preoccupation with titles also ignores the reality that Harry and Meghan have already built successful, independent lives outside of the monarchy. Through their Arcuwell Foundation, media ventures, and various philanthropic efforts, the Sussexes have demonstrated that they do not need royal titles to make a meaningful impact. Their work speaks for itself, and their influence extends far beyond the confines of the British aristocracy.
But my goodness me, when you think about that lad in California, serving his country, risking his life, falling in love and being treated like public enemy number one as a consequence, and then you think about his uncle, who took Jeffrey Epstein to sit on the Queen's bench at Balmoral, and which one is the future king warming up to? Yeah, you got it. You got it in one. Just explain it to me. Have a crack at explaining it to me. I bet you can't, but you're going to have to try.
The royal family's apparent decision to revisit the issue of Harry and Meghan's titles at Balmoral also reveals a glaring double standard. Other royals who have distanced themselves from the monarchy or behaved in very controversial ways have not faced the same level of scrutiny or punishment. For example, Prince Andrew, who has been embroiled in far more serious scandals, retains his Duke of York title despite being stripped of his military affiliations and royal patronages. The fact that Harry and Meghan's titles are even up for discussion suggests that the royal family is more concerned with punishing them for their independence than upholding any consistent standard of behaviour. It is as though the monarchy cannot forgive them for stepping out of line and choosing to live life on their own terms, but they can forgive Prince Andrew for his sex scandals. This disproportionate focus on the Sussexes speaks to the monarchy's broader insecurities and fears about its relevance in the modern world. Therefore, it's only right to conclude that at its core, the royal family's fixation on Harry and Meghan's titles is indicative of a deeper existential crisis within the monarchy. The institution is grappling with how to remain relevant in an era where traditional symbols of power are losing their luster. The idea that titles and peerages are the primary means by which the monarchy can assert its authority is increasingly out of touch with contemporary values. In today's world, people are more interested in actions than titles. The public respects those who use their platforms to make a positive difference, rather than simply resting on the laurels of inherited privilege. Harry and Meghan have tapped into this shift, using their influence to champion causes such as mental health, social justice, and environmental sustainability. Their work resonates with a global audience because it is rooted in genuine commitment, not in titles or royal protocol. The royal family, on the other hand, seems stuck in a time warp, clinging to the belief that titles still hold the same weight they once did. By obsessing over Harry and Meghan's peerages, the monarchy is inadvertently highlighting its own irrelevance. The more it focuses on outdated symbols of power, the more it risks alienating itself from the very public it seeks to serve. In conclusion, the royal family's discussion of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's titles at Balmoral is ultimately a futile exercise in control. The Sussexes have already demonstrated that they do not need royal titles to be successful or influential. Stripping them of their peerages would do little to diminish their impact, and may even elevate their status in other ways. Moreover, the monarchy's obsession with titles reflects a deeper insecurity about its place in the modern world. As traditional symbols of power lose their significance, the royal family must find new ways to remain relevant. Clinging to outdated notions of control through titles is not the answer. In the end, the royal family's focus on Harry and Meghan's titles only serves to underscore its own struggles with change. The Sussexes have moved on, forging their own path and making a difference on their own terms. It is time for the monarchy to do the same, to let go of its outdated obsessions and embrace a more forward-thinking approach to its role in society. If the royal family continues to view titles as the ultimate measure of loyalty and influence, it only proves what we already know. It is becoming increasingly out of touch with the world around it. Thank you for watching.